Race 5 at Caulfield yesterday was running with the Group 1 YALUMBA Stakes at weight for age over 2,000 metres. Why don't you take off on this one then?
Look, what's to say about the race? It was, I suppose, a largely disappointing field with a couple of highlights with the likes of obviously the favourite Pompey Ruler, who most, if not all, expected to win the race, and you know, I suppose register his first win for the preparation moving into his grand finals, but it wasn't to be. I haven't been too excited about the horse, I guess, as he's running in the shadow of Weekend Hustler, and always having my focus firmly fixed on Weekend Hustler. And look, I thought he did nothing to convince me yesterday that he can win a Cox Plate. I think, you know, cushy sectionals aside, for a leader like Douro Valley, Pompey Ruler should have reeled him in those closing stages and ran away with that race. So he was had to be marked as a disappointment after that sort of effort. I thought Casual Pass was very disappointing. A winner of the race in the past, I expected a lot more of him, and I think he may have even faded out to last.
Yeah, he may well be. It was beaten a long way.
Yeah, I haven't heard any reports since, so he may well
the jockey's like looking over his shoulder, so you have to wonder if his action was right.
Yeah, no, that's it could well be, and you know, you hope the horse is okay, I suppose. Look, from the race, Guillotine certainly, you know, got a cushy run, settled really for the first time, I guess, since a couple of starts ago, and I think showed what he's, you know, capable of after having a nice run in transit. Now, you know, he's proven there that he's probably not Group 1 weight for age standard, but what it has shown is that when that horse drops from 58 kilos to 50 kilos in a Caulfield Cup, he's going to be most competitive. He has to be.
How has he proven that he's not Group 1 weight for age standard for runs third to Group 1?
So I probably didn't explain that properly. I mean, he's yet to prove it. So he's got to. He's still got to win his Group 1.
It wasn't the strongest of Group 1 weight for age races either.
Yeah,
it wasn't that strong a race at the end of the day.
He may well go on and win a Group 1 at weight for age.
I'm a fan of Guillotine, you know that. You know.
Yeah, I just feel that he's the one with the shining light on his head now, dropping 8 kilos. Look, we saw it in the Epsom, boys. You know, Fezio ran a big race at weight for age, dropped 7.5 kilos into the Epsom and won. So Guillotine has to be the horse that you really look to follow into a Caulfield Cup after Weekend Hustler's failure and question mark over him getting a strong 2400 under handicap conditions. So this is a fellow who's really going to come into his own there against the likes of Latoya, who's also dropping significantly in weight for a handicap race. But at the same time, yeah, I do still have that question mark over him at weight for age until he does it, you know, given that he did have a nice easy run and should have been able to reel in Douro Valley. Nothing else really to talk about. It's a shame to see Viewed scratch at the barriers. You would have liked to have seen him go around and see what he was capable of. That will sort of throw his preparation into disarray, I think. But yeah, if I'm to take anything from that, it's Guillotine has to be a big chance in the Caulfield Cup.
Well, yeah, look, pretty disappointing race for mine. The winner, Douro Valley, although a very close second in the Caulfield Cup last year, his CV leading up to this race, he's a 7-year-old gelding, and his biggest win was a listed race. So
one of naturalism, yeah.
So, you know,
I tell you what, boys, it seems to me that the gap between weight for age and handicap racing in this country is really closing.
It has been for a number of seasons.
Because that horse is a handicapper.
Yeah, it has been for a number of seasons, and we've echoed these thoughts quite a few times during the last few weeks. How our weight for age, you know, weight for age feels horrible.
No, it was just. I think it's a bit of a blight on things when. You know, a horse like that, I don't think he should be winning Group 1s at 2,000 metres. But anyway, he has. And Pompey Ruler, I'm not as disappointed as some. Obviously, we would expect him to be winning these races if he was really at the top of his form, because he's a better horse than the rest of these. But one thing he is doing, he's racing very consistently. You know, he's thereabouts. It's not like he's running, you know, 10th or, you know, last. He's putting himself there. He's giving himself. He's obviously not quite the horse he used to be, but he's still a very good horse. And I think in the Cox Plate, at a track which he likes, and has proven at that distance, I think he's going to be a player. I certainly wouldn't leave him out of calculations for that race, even though we know that he's not quite the horse that he used to be. Guillotine, pretty good effort yesterday. He's thereabouts. I think that he's one that you'd include in your multiples for the Caulfield Cup because he has no weight, as the boys have pointed out, and it is a significant drop. You'd just like to see him win a little bit more often than he just seems to. For mine, he doesn't win as many races as he probably should to be an absolute top liner, but he could take advantage of the conditions. The only other horse, Sailor Gare, he turned around a poor effort from his previous start at the
JRA Cup, yeah.
At the Valley, so maybe he just didn't handle the track, because the Valley can be a bit of a trap for some horses. That was a much better effort. He finished at a rate of knots, and we're not quite sure what they're setting him for, but I'd say it would be the Queen Elizabeth and races like the Sandown Cup this time in.
On that effort, if you're trying to draw a line and find some lines to be drawn between the form of the Kiwis and the Aussies, you'd have to say that the horses that finish behind Sailor Gare, Nom de Jeu, Red Ruler, those sort of horses, can't beat Guillotine in a Caulfield Cup. Would you agree?
I don't know. Are they going there though? Well, we know Princess Coup's
going
Cox Bay.
No, it's Nom de Jeu and Red Ruler.
Yeah,
why not? They're going to have nothing on their back. This was weight for age.
But how are they going to beat Guillotine? How will they beat? When he's
2,400 metres is the key.
Yeah, he may not stay in Guillotine, because even though he's by Bonjour, if he doesn't settle properly, he might not.
He settled lovely yesterday though.
He did actually. Did he have pacifiers on?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's obviously done the trick.
It seemed to work a bit. Yeah. It worked for Jern. They did that with him and it worked. Yeah, look, I don't really know about all that. I think that we have to wait for the barrier draw and all that sorts of things to make final assessments on the Caulfield Cup. But I thought that Sailor Gare's effort was so much better, and it pleased me because we've sort of identified he's a horse with ability, and we're a bit concerned about his previous start. So he's back on track, and the secondary staying races I think definitely stay on him, because he's right there. And the only other one's Largo Lad. Yeah, I think I'm happy to sack him. He's just I think he's gotten too big. He's a huge horse. He's over 17 hands, and it's very, very hard for horses like that to be competitive, because they just lose their coordination, and I think that's what's happened to him. I think he's just gotten too big, and he's struggling a lot.
Look, I don't think he's a weight for age horse anyway. So
he's just a handicap.
Yeah, he's a handicapper indeed. Look, I thought the run of Guillotine was outstanding. I thought they went around soft sectionals at weight for age with 58 kilos. He's expected to pick up and sprint. Now, that's not his go. That's not his game. When he drops down to the lightweight, he will carry in a Caulfield Cup. And as we've discussed, that's a high pressure race also, because the big field, and they'll go quick or trying to adjust for his positions. No weight on his back. He'll be running home over the top of horses with a lightweight off a fast pace. That'll enable him to do so.
Yeah.
Yesterday's conditions was not his goal at all. So I think he's got a massive red flashing light on him.
Just needs to settle on the race.
And yesterday, see, the thing about yesterday was, for me, that I'm certain that it'll settle in a Caulfield Cup, because they went slow and he didn't pull a toe.
He didn't over-race.
Yes, he didn't over-race. So when he drops, when he goes,
he was just quietly. He wasn't urged to keep out Weekend Hustler either. He was given the opportunity to run his own race. That's still hurting. That's still hurting.
He's still on the Weekend Hustler.
No, but I mean, it shows the difference when you actually run your own race and ensure that the horse is best.
But you're on Weekend Hustler for the Caulfield Cup, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
oh, jeez. You can get on with me.
Hey, but look, to be honest, at $5...
Pre-post, after post, whenever you want, you can get on with me. Alright. But yeah, look, Guillotine for me is the one that come out of the race, and I concur with you, Sailor Gare. Off a slow pace, he really made some good ground. So I think he's got a bright future, but maybe just not this campaign, you know. But in a very disappointing way for age race, I think we've said it all. So that's a wrap on the YALUMBA.